Mike Mitchell, safety, kind of a journeyman after this year. You know, he came from Oakland, drafted higher than most people thought, kind of one of those Al Davis projects, got hurt, lost his job in Oakland, you know, was considered a draft bust coming out of Oakland, signs a 1-year deal, lands in Carolina for $725,000 guaranteed. No, none of it guaranteed, excuse me. He was fighting for a roster spot, wasn't even considered close to being a starter. And I got to say to you guys, I think he was one of the most integral parts of our defense this year. Joey, how important was he to the Carolina Panthers secondary?
I think he was a stabilizing factor in our secondary. He plays the run very well. He's a very good run defender. And then he's improved over the course of the year in his pass coverage. I think if we would not have signed him, this defense would have been good, but would have not been as good as it had been this season.
And that, I mean, there's no way close to, it wouldn't have been good at all, in my opinion. And because Godfrey went down, you know,
right.
And Godfrey, and it was kind of one of those things. It's a signing that we hope it works out when Godfrey's healthy. But when Godfrey goes down, he's the number one guy. You got Lester, who is a rookie, and then you've got, I guess, Quentin Michael, who is old.
Right.
And I mean, not bad. He's not a bad player.
Not at all. Not at all. He's
experienced.
Yeah,
right.
He's experienced. Exactly.
This was his 10th year in the league, you know. So he's on the backside of his career. I mean, let's be realistic.
Yeah, and so, you know, for Mike Mitchell, we required him to be a starter. And we required him to be what he was drafted to be at a second-round pick. And he was. He showed up.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was I think he brought a certain level of intensity and toughness to this team, and an edge to a secondary that was, you know, overwhelmed every week. Every week, the Carolina Panthers secondary was not the better group on the field overall when it comes to just pure talent, combine, whatever you want to call it. And so you know, what does it take for the little scrappy dude to win? And it takes that kind of edge and that, like, you know, I'm going to hit you hard and get a flag on the first play of the playoff game or whatever, the first series, you know, and the tip ball. So
set the tone. Yeah.
What's that?
So he set the tone. He's a tone
that's
setter.
exactly right.
Yeah.
An enforcer.
Right.
So how important what do you think about Mike Mitchell when you hear that he got paid $725,000 last year, Ken, for 1 year, none of it guaranteed, just kind of a mercenary? What do you think about that? What you know, how does that make you? Did he play better than that, should I say?
Yeah, he did. I've never been a big fan of Charles Godfrey. You know, he's been a starter for a lot of time, but before this year, I got the feeling that as far as our safeties went, we had a bunch of backup safeties. Now, before the season even started, over on Cat Crave did an article back last summer, and Mike Mitchell was my pick to be the pleasant surprise of the year for the whole team.
Well done.
I think that
he was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, I mean that came out pretty much right on the money, I think. And you're saying $725,000? That's a bargain for a starter in the NFL.
Oh my God! And not only just a starter, but he played well.
Yeah, and he had some key interceptions. You know, he's not.
He got to the quarterback a couple of times.
Yeah, he can do a little bit of everything.
By the way, he tied the team in interceptions, and he had I didn't look up the stats for sacks, but I know I saw him get 2 sacks.
At least 2, right?
Yeah,
right.
Those delayed sacks where he's back in the back and he just runs after.
Yeah, he's a safety that had 4 picks and 2 sacks. And I did look up his stats stats like maybe a week and a half ago or a week ago, and so they're kind of fuzzy. I was looking when I was reading that Godfrey stuff, but it was like he had 58 tackles. In Godfrey's best season, he had 64. Or, they were right in the same area. So here's what I'm saying to you guys is that this dude, Mike Mitchell, tough attitude. I think that's attractive to a lot of teams, first of all. It's attractive to us and a fan base anyway. That we all saw when we're looking at the Sherman guy from Seattle, is we like the edge that these dudes, because that's what you're going to kind of need. And so Mitchell seems to have that a bit. But my thing is this, is that he's on his deal. This is going to be his deal as an NFL player. He came into the league. He was drafted higher than he probably should have. He didn't get that to, kind of live up to that money and sign the deal. He went to another team. He made the cut. He fought for the roster. He did well when he's supposed to. So this guy's going to be looking for his career contract. And I'm not saying that that's going to be astronomical, but he's not going to settle for $825,000 this year
that's for
or
sure.
$1 million. So this is what I got to say is, do you think that he would settle for a deal that was 3 years, Joey? Let's talk about how long first. Would he sign a 2-year deal, or is he going to be hunting for the 3?
I think he would want a 4.
A 4, yeah.
I think he'd
Okay.
want a 4. He would not take a 2, but he might settle on a 3.
All right.
Glad you're not qualifying it.
Yeah, that's the answer right there. That's the answer, and I gotta agree with that. Ken, do you think that he could be secured for what Joey's saying, less than 3? Or could the Panthers schmooze him into a 2-year deal at he was drafted in the same year that Darius Haywood-Bay. By the way, it was Darius Haywood-Bay, first round to the Raiders, second round Mike Mitchell.
Yeah, I remember.
And then Al Davis died after he made those picks.
Right.
Poor fella. Oh my gosh.
I don't know that against the Raiders. But yeah. Well, I remember Darius Haywood-Bay. He ran the fastest combine time. I think he ran like a 4.3 flat out of Maryland. And I remember when he was taken by Al Davis, I said, "Yep, that's an Al Davis pick. All speed and all thumbs."
Yeah.
There you go.
No hands.
Yep. Meat hooks.
He should have played corner. Okay. Well, all right. So with Mike Mitchell, I gotta agree with you guys. Look, and actually, I think he's important. I think he's important to the Panthers. I don't know if we can afford him. I think what we're going to try to do is I think the Panthers are actually going to try to sign Mike Mitchell. I've been saying no for the last week and a half. Mike Mitchell will not be a Panther. In the last 2 days, I'm saying this, is that I think we might be able to pay him $1.5 million next year and kind of backload his contract and maybe give him a 3-year deal and say, look, you're going to be a starter on this team, part of the culture of Carolina. I think we might be able to pull this one off. So my vote is sign him. Joey, next year, we got 3 people here, so we got it. We can do it. We can break the tie. So I'm saying Mike Mitchell will be a Panther next year because I think we can backload the contract enough to bring him back and kind of disperse the money. Maybe pay him, an extra $1.5 million. You pay him $3 million or $2.5 million. It's a big raise for him, and then say we'll catch you next year with the guaranteed money. I say we're going to sign him. What do you think?
I think I want him back because I like his tenacity. I like his play on the field. I like what he brings to the defense. And I think he is worth, I mean, my God, the man has earned at least a doubling of his salary.
Yeah,
I would
seven
say.
hundred $25,000 is like a cupcake
Right.
on
I
the
mean,
board.
really, really, he's definitely earned more than that. And I think the one thing we do have going for us, it seems the fan base has really embraced him.
Yeah,
You know, he's really a
he's a fan
popular.
favorite now.
He is. He's a
Mhm.
popular player amongst fans. So I think we can sign him, and like you're saying, make that third year of his contract or whatever, maybe a $4 or $5 million year. You know,
Yeah.
by then we'll have a little more cap space. We can do some finagling at that time.
Yeah,
Maybe that'll.
Gettleman said is that getting the cap is a 2-year project. We got 2 more years, so we can say bear, and that's how contracts are done. Generally, in the first year, they're low. The Charles Godfrey contract was $1.5 million in his first year, and then it jumped in the second year, and it was this year and next year that it's at like
The
five.
big money. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and we're stuck with them at this point because we didn't shore up other deals elsewhere. So Ken, it doesn't really matter because we've already decided two votes. But really, realistically, tell us. You said that no to Greg Hardy. Are you going to say no? Mike Mitchell will not be a Panther, or can we work it out?
I think we have to work it out. He's, I think he's an improvement over Godfrey.
Hmm.
Um, and the thing is, he plays Panther style football. Hard nosed, like Joey said, that tenacious style. Penalty on the first hit. Here I am. Don't forget about me. You know, that's it's a fine line between playing tough football and nasty football, and he'll walk that line. It's kind of like how Smitty plays. You
Exactly.
know, he's the trash talker, but he knows right where that line is. Sometimes he'll stick his toes out a little bit too far, but he'll draw back. And Mitchell's young, he's learning, and like I said, summer last year, pleasant surprise of the year. He did wind up being a pleasant surprise for the Panthers, and his style of play fits the team's personality well. It's a good fit. I think they have to bring him back, especially if they let Hardy go. They can't let them both go. Oh,
This is. I
real quick
agree.
about the
Unanimous.
contract, they're going to back end it. Yeah.
Yeah, unanimous. This is a signum for Cat Chronicles saying all three of us believe Mike Mitchell will be back because he has to be back. The only problems with all of this is that we have Lester at safety as well. Is that we're actually a little deeper and we got Godfrey coming back with a lot of money. Godfrey's not a bad player and he's not a great player. He's actually a good safety. He just is this. He plays Panther style to a certain degree. He blows people up. It's just they happen to get 20-yard gains before he does.
Yeah.
So